Okay, great. Sorry about that small technical difficulty. Thanks for holding. Welcome to the June Service Unit Recruiter webinar. So I'm Anna Denise. I'm our Manager of Recruitment, and with me tonight is Gina Gerhardt, who you all know, your Recruitment Coordinator. So tonight we're going to do some quick updates from our current campaigns that we have running, Welcome to Daisy and Camp Life is the Best Life. And then we're also going to give you guys some new information about our fall recruitment campaign. And then as we have done all spring, we will end the webinar with new information. And then those of you who are interested in taking the online recruiter orientation are welcome to stay on the line and get that orientation this evening. So I'm going to go ahead and get started. And once again, if you have any questions, feel free to raise your hand or put something in the question log, and we will answer those as we go along. So our campaign updates. The first campaign I want to mention is Camp Life is the Best Life. So even though summer is in full swing, there's still plenty of time for girls to join the fun at camp. The Camp Life Invite a Friend incentive launched last month, so all girls who are attending camp received an email letting them know that if they invite a currently unregistered girl to camp and she registers for camp, those girls will receive some cool Camp Life is the Best Life sunglasses. We're getting a lot of really positive feedback about these sunglasses. The girls love them. Just a note, some questions we got, girls do not have to attend the same camp to qualify. So, for example, if a girl wants to invite maybe a cousin who's a few years older and she wants to go to a different camp, or one girl is maybe a little more of a girly girl, so she's going to go to Pampered Princess, but her best friend maybe might prefer something a little more rugged, that's okay, as long as they sign up for one of the camps. So the girls can tell us who they invited by emailing us at marketing@gsneo.org. They just need to tell us, their name and their friend's name. And if they can give us their friend's email address, that's great. Just so that we can double check who the friend is. We tend to have a lot of girls with the same names, so that would be fantastic. And also just remember to keep promoting camp for the next month. Camp runs through the end of July, and all of our programs close out 14 days before the beginning of the program. So there is still plenty of time to sign up for camp. So welcome to Daisy. We have 1 week left for this campaign. It's still going strong. As a quick reminder, this campaign is an introduction to the Girl Scout program for girls who are entering kindergarten this fall. So girls are welcome to keep signing up throughout the summer, but they have until June 30th to get our awesome incentives of the patch and certificate and the zoo ticket. So to make this a little more fun and exciting for you guys, we are going to be launching a 1-week incentive. So the recruiter who has the most new girls between today and June 30th, so 1 week, for Welcome to Daisy, will receive the silver trefoil necklace that you see here. So just a way to make it a little fun, add a little extra incentive to get out there and get recruiting. We do have about 235 girls, with my last count, who have already signed up for Daisies for the fall, so that's fantastic. We have several adults. We have about 75 adults, and about 40 of them are signed up to be troop leaders, so the campaign is going really, really strong. So thank you for that. You guys are doing an amazing job. But there's still 1 week left, and as you guys know, the more Daisies we get signed up, within the next week, the less work we have to do in September. So, when September is such a busy time for all of us that, this campaign is really fantastic. I also just want to mention, at last count, we had about 50 new girls signed up for through the Camp Life campaign. So those are girls who are brand new to Girl Scouting who signed up specifically to go to camp. So that campaign has also been going very well, so thank you for all of your hard work on that. And one quick reminder about the Welcome to Daisy campaign. There is also an Invite a Friend contest for our Welcome to Daisies. So for girls who signed up through Welcome to Daisy, who invite a friend to join them, and it could be their troop or another kindergarten Daisy troop, that's fine. Those girls will both receive a patch for the first 75 girls. And we are actually going to extend that contest through the end of July. So even though those girls won't receive the incentive, they'll still get a patch, and that Welcome to Daisy girl can still receive a patch. Because we know that the girls, are going to want to keep inviting their friends all summer long, so we'll go ahead and keep incentivizing them until we run out of patches. So are there any questions about our current campaigns, Welcome to Daisy or Camp Life, before we move on to fall? Let's see, Beth, you've two questions. So for how are you keeping track of the numbers for Recruiter for Welcome to Daisy? That's a great question. What we're actually going to do is pool them by service unit. So when we look at our numbers, we know what service unit each girl belongs to. And so basically the service unit that has the most girls between now and next week will be the recruiter who receives the necklace. So this is only open to service units that have recruiters in them. And then, Beth, you also have a question for the Invite a Friend. Are you close to 75? And the answer is no, we're not. I would love to say yes, but we're not. So we will definitely not run out of those anytime soon. So please encourage the Daisies in your unit to invite their friends. And I actually, Beth, I believe you submitted one of those. If you have a Daisy this year, correct me if I'm wrong, and those haven't been mailed out yet as well. So if any others of you have Daisies who are new this year and you have not received a patch, those are going to go out probably next week in the mail, so you should get them right after the holiday weekend. Did that answer your questions, Beth? Okay, great. So if anyone else has any other questions, feel free to question log. I don't believe I see any raised hands, so we're going to go ahead and move on. Okay, so our next topic is some training for the fall 2016 campaign. So as you guys know, training is ongoing, so this isn't a piece of our fall 2016 training, but we're going to start it tonight. So our campaign theme. So we are going to continue to use the I Can't Wait To campaign and those materials through September 30th of this year. JSUSA is in the process of releasing a new recruitment campaign for our K-5 girls. But as you all know, the Girl Scout year runs, and therefore most of our operational years also run on the Girl Scout year from October 1st through September 30th. So we are going to continue to use the I Can't Wait To campaign for the rest of the summer and this current Girl Scout year. For your materials, all supplies except for flyers will be available for pickup at the August 10th Service Unit Kickoff at ALE. So we are going to pre-package those supplies for you. You do not have to request them unless you have a special request. For example, you know that you are going to, you have your homecoming festival in September, asked you to put something in a goodie bag, and so you want to put pencils in there, so you're going to need a couple hundred extra pencils. So that's great, you can order them. But other than that, everything as far as brochures and posters and giveaways, anything that is not a flyer, we will have those ready for you to go. Your flyers will need to be ordered via the dot form because those are obviously going to depend on what troops you're recruiting to and what different things you'll be doing with recruitment. If you do order them prior to, I would say, August 1st, we will also have them for you at ALE. If you would prefer to pick them up there, then have them delivered. If you won't be ready to order them by then, that's obviously understandable. And if you will need your supplies before August 10th, please put those requests in and let us know, put something in the comment box that you need those sooner. I do know we have a handful of schools out there that start very early, like first week of August. So if you do have one of those communities and you do need those supplies early, please let us know and we will make sure we get those to you. I'd like to talk a little bit about booths at events, at community events, because it is summer and throughout the fall there are lots of opportunities at events in the community to have booths. So these can be really great recruitment opportunities. We encourage you to look at them in your community and work with your service unit to determine if they're a good fit. So a lot of times we get contacted by community events to have a booth, and sometimes they're really not a very good fit for us. Maybe they don't have very high attendance, but they require a very large amount of participation. So for example, it might be a 3-day event where they require someone to staff that booth for 8 hours a day, but they only have an attendance of 100 people. That is probably not the best use of our recruitment efforts. Other times, you might have something at an event that's a really fantastic opportunity. For example, a community home days event where any organization who's anybody is going to be represented, and you know that all the new families always go to that event, then you definitely want to be represented there. So work with your service unit team to determine which events are best for your service unit's membership, strategies, and goals. And that way you guys can work as a service unit to make sure that those events are covered. Working a booth is a great volunteer opportunity for older girls. Cadets and up for sure, some juniors as well, especially with some help with an adult. It's a great opportunity for them to get some service hours. They can talk about the various projects that they're working on and what they've learned. Even little girls can work booths as long as there are adults available to answer the big questions from other adults. So when we say these recruitment booths are available, make sure that you're working with your recruitment team to fill those. We're not suggesting that one person from the service unit should cover those booths all the time. So these requests sometimes will come to you. A lot of times community events know, oh, well, I know there's a local Girl Scout contact. But sometimes they come to us here at Council, and when we receive those, we will pass them on to you, and then you can work with the recruitment team to determine if it's a good fit. And obviously, if you need help determining if it's a good fit, Gina or I are both able to help you with that. So more information about booths, how you should dress, what you should have on your table, what you should be prepared to say, all of those types of things are available in the Service Unit Recruiter Handbook, which will be available at the July trainings. For those of you who have taken your Service Unit Recruiter orientation already, we will have those available for you. Either we can work something out by mail or pick up, or at the Service Unit Kickoff at ALE. Are there any questions about booths? Gina, is there anything in the question log that we need to answer? No. Okay, and I don't see any hands raised. So we're going to go ahead and talk a little bit about your fall recruitment planning. So when we are recruiting, there's really two different approaches to recruiting, or two different facets. The first one is filling the troops, and the second one is starting new troops. So when we're filling the troops, we are talking about already established troops that have leaders, they already have some girl members, and they are looking for more members. So when you are filling troops, the way you plan for that is you determine which troops are recruiting new members. Then you would determine the best places to recruit these new members for these troops. And then you would order your Fill the Troop flyers on the job form based on those plans, those places, and then you distribute the flyers. So let's say that you have 2nd, 3rd, and 5th grade troops accepting new members this fall, and you decide that the best way to recruit them, the new members, is to send a flyer home with every girl in that grade. So you would request 3 different flyers, one for each troop, with the appropriate amount for each grade. So maybe that means you might need 50 for 2nd grade, but you might need 75 for 5th grade because it's a bigger, the grade is bigger. When you're filling the troops, you might choose to have an event of some kind, or you may choose to just direct people to gsneo.org/join. Either way is fine. It really depends on your community and your need. If you have some troops that are hosting events that they would like to invite new members to maybe come to a troop event or something like that, or maybe you have a service unit event that you want to invite them to, that's fantastic. Or if you have your troops, you think the people in your community will see that flyer that says, oh, Troop 12345 is accepting new members, and I have to go to gsneo.org/join to sign up, and they will follow those steps, and that's all you need to do. That's great too. If you haven't had a chance to look at the Fill the Troop flyers online yet, there are flyers for both options. So just be sure that you pick the appropriate flyer when you are requesting them on the job form. When starting new troops, what we're really doing is forming brand new troops. So you are encouraging parents to step into volunteer roles as well as sign up their daughters for new troops. So at these events, more time is spent with parents explaining how troops are formed and the benefits of the various volunteer roles. So when you start new troops, what you do is you determine what troops need to be started. You determine the best places to recruit new members for these troops. Decide if you should direct families to gsneo.org/join or hold a troop formation event, and this will vary depending on your community. What we found after last year's recruitment season is that in some communities, the parents just went online and signed up their children and chose troop leader roles, and troops are ready to go and no event was necessary. But in other communities, people are very used to going to events. You know, maybe the Boy Scouts and the T-ball teams, and that's everybody, they have some kind of sign-up night, event night, so people are very used to that, so an event is necessary. It's really up to you. You guys are the experts on your community, and if you have any questions about, you know, what is better, that's what Gina and I are here for. We can help you determine what is the best opportunity. So once you've decided how you're going to get them into the troops, whether it's an event or directing them online, you would, again, order the appropriate flyer in the dot form, distribute the flyers, and hold your event if applicable. So we are in the process of creating general join flyers that are not Fill the Troops, so they may not have necessarily specific troop numbers on them. So if you're starting multiple new troops, it might say, we're starting multiple new troops in your area. Please visit gsneo.org/join. And then we also are forming troop formation event flyers, which are different, again, from Fill the Troop flyers, because we want the parents to fully understand that this is not an existing troop, that there is some work that needs to be done on the parent level to get the troop up and running, so that they don't come just thinking they're going to be able to sign up their daughter, because we want them to come into Girl Scouting, you know, aware that they may need to get actively involved. Are there any questions about that? Let's see. Beth, I got it. You got it? Okay. Perfect. All right. So I talked, let's see if I can, okay. So I talked with the past couple of slides with recruiting that when you're recruiting, you can either direct people to gsneo.org/join, or you can invite them to a recruitment event. So like I said, there are two types of recruitment events, Fill the Troop events and troop formation events. So at Fill the Troop events, you're going to spend a lot more time really just getting the girls excited. You know, and kind of making sure that the parents are on board and understand what's going on with the various troops that are available for them to join. The troops should already have leaders. They should already be functioning to some point. They don't necessarily have to be long-established troops, but they're kind of already up and running. They just want more girls. With troop formation events, you really need to spend a lot of time talking to the parents, explaining the different volunteer roles, explaining how troops are formed, why they're volunteer-led, and why it's important for them as a parent to get involved in the troop. So when you advertise these events, make sure that you're using the correct flyer, whether it's a formation night, a troop formation flyer, or a Fill the Troop flyer, so that the parents come in knowing what to expect. When you receive your handbook, you will have outlines and step-by-step instructions to host two different recruitment events. One is called I Can't Wait to Be a Girl Scout, and the other is Juliet's Birthday Bash. Either of these events can work for either type of recruitment. However, the I Can't Wait to Be a Girl Scout event is really ideal for troop formation, probably a little bit more than Juliet's Birthday Bash, but you can make either one work. So these two events, I Can't Wait to Be a Girl Scout, it's sort of a mock troop meeting of sorts where you, at one point in the evening or afternoon, would separate the girls from the parents, and the girls would go off with some other maybe older girls or some other volunteers to do some fun Girl Scout activities, and then you have more of a chance to speak to the parents directly about becoming volunteers and troop leadership opportunities. And then with Juliet's birthday bash, it's actually sort of made to be an event that you could do as a service unit event and then invite new members, or have it solely as a recruitment event, up to you, where instead of having a direct portion where you speak about becoming a volunteer or joining a troop, it's more of a station throughout the room. And so the girls and their parents would go to different stations where they would do different birthday activities, and then they would also get a chance to talk to some adults and girls about becoming a Girl Scout. You will also receive in your handbook a recruitment event timeline and checklist, which will help you plan either of these events or the event of your choosing. So you do not have to use either of these two Girl Scout recruitment events that we've provided for you. You are welcome to come up with your own. We've had some really fabulous recruitment events from service units in the past. And so is there anyone who wants to share an idea for a recruitment event, maybe something that if you've been a recruiter for a year, in the past you've hosted, or maybe something you attended, or just a really good idea that you've had that you haven't had a chance to host yet but are really excited to launch in the fall? And you can throw these in the question log or raise your hand.
So quiet.
It's a very quiet.
Oh, Sarah.
Sarah. Sarah said that they did a parade, and at the end of the parade, they had a booth set up to accept girls as Girl Scouts, and they handed out flyers during the parade to girls. So yes, parades are awesome ways to recruit new members. So Sarah, that's an awesome idea. And I really like that you had a booth set up at the end of the parade so that people could just jump on that momentum right there. They didn't have to remember to take the flyer home and go home. They can just do it right there. That's awesome. Does anyone else want to share anything? Maybe most of you are typing. I can share a couple of ideas that I have heard other service units doing. I had one service unit that did a mock camp out at the park. So their park actually does allow to put up tents and things like that. And so they put up some tents, and they had some crafts, and they the girls could make their own trail mix. And it was just sort of a little kind of like different stations that they could go to and do the mock camp out, and have a really just kind of experience that. But then at the end of when they left, they were given information to sign up to join a troop. Another really great, really adorable idea that I heard one service unit did was they had a teddy bear tea for their daisy recruitment. So they encouraged all of the daisies to come and bring in their teddy bear, and they had a tea party. And then while they were having a tea party with their teddy bears, the moms were getting everything they needed to sign them up and all the different troop opportunities that were available. So I thought that was a really adorable idea for recruitment. Are there anything else anyone wants to share, different ideas? Okay, well, I know that you guys all have some really good ideas, and you're just being shy. So if you want to share them later, or maybe you can't think of it right now and it comes to you in a couple of minutes, feel free to put it in the question log, and we will make sure that we share it. And if it comes to you, tonight at 3 in the morning when you wake up to get some water, like that's when usually everything comes to me, you can always email us, and we'll make sure we share that with everyone as well. Okay. So I just wanted to remind you, when you host a recruitment event, that you do need to market to that event so that people know to attend, and there are lots of different ways to do that. Those of you who have been on our webinars and who have been, have attended your orientation, this is all old information, but I wanted to mention it for any of you who might be new joining us tonight. We provide you with flyers, brochures, posters, pre-produced communications that's new, that's coming for fall recruitment. So we're going to provide you with, short blurbs that you can put into your school's PTA newsletter or the church, a church bulletin, something you can put on a marquee sign in your community, those opportunities. All of our social media advertisements and posts you guys can share on your own pages, whether you have a service unit page, or just your personal page. You can always share those. We have our wristbands, which are the tie-back bracelets that have our gsneo.org/join website and our phone number on there. Those are really great to do bracelet rallies, which is something you'll learn more about at the ALE kickoff training and in your handbook. They're also great if any of you are doing booths at an event in the community. They're really great to hand out instead of flyers because they stay on their girls' wrist and so they don't get lost with everything else that they pick up throughout the day. And then of course we have giveaways, pencils, stickers, tattoos, and those things as well. And giveaways are also a great marketing technique because they all have our website and phone number on them, so people might forget to take that business card home, but when they see the pencil in 2 weeks that you have been using, to take notes or whatever, they will remember to check us out. So are there any questions? That pretty much sums up the little bit of information for fall that I wanted to share with you guys now. Are there any questions about planning for fall, work plan meetings with your service unit, any of those planning things before we move on to the rest of the webinar? Okay, so it doesn't appear that there are any questions. I don't see any raised hands, so we'll move on. Okay, so a couple of times in the past couple of minutes I've mentioned the recruiter orientation. Gina has been traveling throughout GSNEO offering that training one-on-one or in small groups, and we have also been offering it on the webinars, via webinar that we've had every other month. So if you are interested in taking virtual training via webinar, today is your last option for that. We will be getting that shortly. However, if that doesn't work for you and you're more of an in-person person, we do have some available dates which are on your screen coming up. One is the day after tomorrow on the 25th at the Macedonia Service Center, and then 3 more in July throughout Council. You can sign up for all of those on the events calendar except for the one this Saturday. The registration has closed for that, I believe, but you can email Gina and we will manually add you to that class. There's still plenty of room. If none of those opportunities work for you, please let Gina know and we will try and we can work something else out throughout the month of July. So just a quick reminder about that too. So all recruiters do need to take their orientation prior to continuing with the ALE Service Unit Kickoff and fall recruitment. So by the end of July, so again, if one of these upcoming 4 days for the webinar this evening isn't an option for you, please contact Gina so that we can work out something before the end of July. And then just a quick reminder about the Service Unit Kickoff at ALE that I've mentioned several times tonight. That is Wednesday, August 10th from 6:30 to 9 o'clock p.m. at Camp Ledgewood, and it's very important that you attend. We will have more information about recruiting for the fall and the campaign, and we will have all of your supplies available for you. Plus, we're going to have some fun surprises. I'm hoping I'll give you guys who are on the webinar a little sneak that I'm hoping we'll have some fun Girl Scout swag for you guys. And then there's an after party that's $5, and there will be we'll be grilling out some hot dogs, and the pool will be open. So if you'd like to stay after for that, you're definitely more than welcome. It's just $5, and you can sign up for both of those online at gsneo.org/events. So that concludes the regular portion of the webinar. Are there any final questions about any of the topics we've discussed tonight or anything else before we move on to the recruiter orientation? Okay, so it appears there are no other questions. So I'm going to go ahead and stop the recording. Actually, hang on one second. Maybe there is another question here. Oh, nope, there's not. I apologize. So doesn't appear to be any other questions. So I'm going to go ahead and stop the recording. And for those of you who have already taken your recruiter orientation, thank you so much for joining us. And for those of you who are going to stay with us for the recruiter orientation, just give me a couple seconds here to switch over.